Welcome back to Lab Art. Today we're going to make a brilliant little canvas using only a sponge. So you will need a sponge with scissors, some white paint. I've just wrapped mine up in cling film. I'm going to take that out, make sure it's still working. Some different colours of paints. I picked blues and silvers and a little bit of black today. I also picked up this testing pot from a hardware store, which was only £1, so I've now got this mysterious grey colour. So I think we're going to have to mix that in. There we go. It's actually turned out to be quite a nice warm toned dark grey. We can definitely use this in our piece of art today. So here's our small little canvas. I think this is about A5 size. I've got a tray to pour my white paint in because it's watered down, but it's not necessary. This is my palette, check. Backwards and forwards. This is my little sketchbook, which I'm going to have a play around with, and I'm just going to get my paints ready. So first, before we start painting on the canvas, we're just going to have a little experiment with the sponges that we make. But before that, we need to actually cut up those sponges. So here I'm just pouring my paint, getting everything ready. There we go, there's that grey colour from the sample. So let's get our sponge. And I want you to be really careful when you're using your scissors, no cutting please. But I'm just cutting into the sponge, creating different shapes and different sections of different sizes. And you might lose some tiny little pieces of your sponge here, so please put down a safe surface. But I'm trying to create different angles, I'm trying to work with the curve of the sponge, get them in different sizes, and I'll just give you a little view of what I ended up with. That's a very cute little piece there. I also made this one with a little point. Let's see if we can do anything with that. This is a very square, right-angled one. I've got a curve in the corner there. Now, I got this sponge for I think 70p at a hardware shop. So this is not an expensive purchase, art supply purchase. You can see I've left a good chunk of it behind. We're not being wasteful on this channel. We're trying to be resourceful. So just think about the angles you've created, and they are sponges. So those are prepared. All I need to do now is just pop that in a little tray with my other paints and have it all ready to continue. And we're going to have a little experiment. Here's my tray. So I'm just grabbing my white sketchbook and I'm digging into some of the paints, and we're just going to have an experiment about what kind of textures and shapes we can build with them. So here I've just taken an ultramarine blue and I'm just dabbing it onto the sketchbook, and I'm trying to create almost a fade out effect. I'm coming in with a different colour. This is a slightly more almost a grey lime undertoned blue. I don't know what colour this is called, but I'm coming in there and I'm just seeing what type of blend I can get with purely just dabbing, as if it was a beauty blender for all the girls out there, and just using that technique to push and blend into the canvas just to see what kind of texture I can get. You can see I've gone in there with some of that discount off cut paint. Now, it's a very useful trick if you're trying to save money to buy emulsion. As long as you're okay with a slightly chalky finish it could give to your work, which can easily be remedied with a glossy top coat, then it's a really good viable option, especially for colours like white and black, which you're going to be using a lot. So I've just gone in with a slightly larger clean sponge that hasn't been pushed into paint, and just dragging that across and having an experiment. I am now dipping it into the white, and I think I'm going to push and try and blend that in too. The purpose of testing all of these different techniques is just to become familiar with the materials you're using. You wouldn't start on a canvas without trying out your materials first. So I'm dabbing that in, and that's quite a nice colour blend there. I mean, I could work on this slightly longer and get a more even effect, but I'm quite happy with the kind of shape that's building. So let's tear this up and try and see if we can get a slightly different blend on here. So I think I'm dipping in and mixing colours. So I've got a blue, a white, and I'm just pulling that across the canvas, and you can see that that gives us a really nice layered stretch line there. Something that's, I would say for this piece, slightly more sophisticated than just pushing and blending. My dab technique has an almost slightly preschool vibe, which is fine. And I also enjoyed with that pull across the metallic silver that we used earlier. It's given us a nice reflection, it's giving us depth, it's giving us life. We love it. Right, so I think I've just grabbed a different sponge here and we're going to try a different technique. So I've got a black and that ultramarine blue, and we're just going to try and pull. We've got it with a dab and now we're just pulling the paint around. And I was trying to get a circle here, but obviously with this sponge I didn't get enough paint, or I didn't squeeze hard enough, I didn't use enough pressure. Right, let's try a different technique. Let's try and drag this across. See, now that's quite a nice effect, that S shape that I've just created. You can also play with it by how far you want to stretch that paint. At this point I could have, if I wanted that really faded effect, I could have rubbed it against my protective paper around the outside of my canvas there, but because we're just having a mess around, we'll see what will happen. So I'm just pulling some more white emulsion through, and now I've actually got a lovely consistency for creating shapes, and this technique's really building on me. So I'm trying to create circles in vain again, and it's not working, so we're just going to move on. But I think I found my winning formula for the type of canvas I want to do, and I hope you're trying this at home, because this is really handy with any material. If you're going to use a new brush, have a play around first. It doesn't have to look good. This is art. It's just for you. It can just be fun. Right, now I'm trying to create depth. I'm about to pull that sponge across the canvas again with some more white paint, but this should give me a layered effect. So let's see how it's going to turn out. Oh, I love it when I just pull that white paint across. Lovely, I love it. It's almost like a seaside view that I've just created there, and this is just from an experiment. So if you're not feeling very inspired, just sit down, pull out some paints, pull out whatever materials you've got, and have a play around. This is what inspired my final piece to show you guys. So let's get rid of that. Just tuck it behind my secret canvas area. Right, I think we're ready. I'm going to pull out my small canvas. Now this canvas has been pre-treated, so you don't need to do a white base beforehand. But if you have an untreated canvas, I'm sure you can look from wherever you get your canvas supplier is, then you just need to wipe that down with white paint. So I decided to do that again just to show you. So I've just put like a thin coat of white paint all over the canvas just to create a base. So I've just got that canvas all prepped, and it's really as simple as that. All you need to do is spread that white paint across. I'm going in with a slightly smaller black and dark blue loaded sponge. I'm going to rub in some of that colour, create some waves, create some depth, pull that up. Just having a dither about where I should put the next bit. I've just grabbed a new fresh sponge. That fresher sponge, because you're not dipping and washing the sponges with water like you would with paintbrushes, is going to give you a cleaner colour if you just go in with a fresh one. But feel free to turn your sponge upside down, get your paint on your hands. It's not a big deal, and create that volume. I'm just taking that silver. I know it might struggle to come across in camera, that it is the silver. It might look like a lighter grey, but there's silver acrylic paint in that corner. This is going to give the overall finished painting a silvery luminescent tone, and I'm just dabbing that on and pushing it into that dark black and trying to probably tone down that colour. So next I'm going to build up some more shape in the... I was thinking about this when I was making it as more of a skyline, But seeing as though we're doing just a small abstract piece here, it doesn't really matter, and you can very much just leave this as a dabbed piece of artwork or squiggle into it or just really blend that together. I might see if I can post on my Instagram just a purely blended sponge piece of artwork, so let me know if you're interested. But for this piece in particular, I'm dipping into that white, I'm getting rid of the excess colour and I'm spreading it across. I just love this look. It's really simple. It's the type of piece that's going to look lovely in like a bathroom or a kitchen or in your bedroom. It's so simple. It's taken me 2 or 3 minutes to make. It's a really fun piece to create. You could do this on a much larger scale with a bigger canvas. I personally like to put some colour around my edges with this type of thing, but it's not necessary. You could leave it white. I think it's nice when it's a slightly bigger depth to your canvas, and that depth refers to how thick is the wooden frame that your canvas sits in. But yeah, we're not doing magic today, we're not doing anything too complex, we're just creating this very sweet little piece. And really with this you could do 2 or 3 of them, line them going up, line them going down. It would be lovely. And I'm just going to bring this closer to the camera so you can just see all the different tones. I think it's very relaxing, very chilled out. You don't need to do this after you paint, you will leave finger marks on the side, but this is just so you can see. It's very sweet, very lovely. This would make a great gift for mums, grandma, sister, brother, dad, whoever. And it's just a very nice way to create that small piece of artwork by yourself. So let me know if you want me to do a couple of these to show you how it would look in situ. I'm going in with some darker tones and cleaning up those edges. The great thing about sponges is if you're pulling it across, you're not going to make a massive difference to the overall effect, and worst case scenario you can pull that white again across if you really made a big mistake, and it should give you overall tone. But let's have a little look at it again just so you can see where I've made those edge changes. Excuse my finger marks on the side. Again, this is just to show you I would ordinarily just leave this to dry and chill out. But I really hope you like this. I really hope you enjoy having it go. Oh, I have decided to go back in with some white to clean that up. And that's given me a gorgeous effect on the skyline. I'm saying skyline, I know this isn't abstract, but again, I said I like to think about my abstract as landscapes sometimes, and this is a very appropriate time to consider it in that way. See, this almost looks like a mountain by a lake, and the skyline to me in the morning. I'm feeling relaxed, I'm feeling chilled out, I'm enjoying. Now, let's just layer up these sponges for a little aesthetic finished shot. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please hang around, subscribe to the channel, have a look on my Instagram, it's all in the description box below. I hope you have a go. Send me a DM if you do of a picture of the finished bit. But thank you again.